So just keep showing up. That's a lesson we've all learned over the last 18 months as chaos ensued. Kelly Metras applies this idea to motherhood as she recalls her mom's commitment to the long game with her story, I See.
I have never been good at listening to my mother. As an adult, I found out that my grandmother gave her a note saying, "The child that causes you the most trouble will make you the most proud." She kept that note, and she listened to her mother. I didn't know what that meant for a long time. My mother only ever wanted to be mom. There were no grad school dreams, career focuses. What should I be ideal? She wanted to be mom. She wanted to dote over her children and grandchildren, and she worked around our schedules and lives since day one. I never thought much about being a mother. I knew I would have kids. I wanted to adopt or foster, but I constantly struggled with what I wanted to be. People started asking when I was a toddler. The choices were limitless for girls my age, which was a fairly new concept. I was only the third cousin to get a college degree, and I'm the only person in my family that owns a business. My mother was and is great at listening when I struggled, but because I couldn't ask, I couldn't listen. Growing up, there were times I swore she loved my brother more. He was the perfect child. To this day, everyone adores him. A pregnancy and a birth to gush about a sleeping newborn. Such a sweet little boy. It's nauseating to hear about him as a child. She dreamed of one day having a daughter, a sweet, cuddly girl. She had no idea I was coming. Almost 4 a.m. on a January day in Rochester, my petite mother naturally birthed a beast of a child at 9 pounds, 5 ounces. They joked she had no neck during her pregnancy and that she looked like a linebacker. In the pictures, I always thought she looked beautiful. My poor mother. I didn't have a dainty bone in my body. I pushed her in ways she never expected from the womb. Words used to describe me as a child are tomboy, stubborn, didn't listen. I wanted to play with worms, be in the dirt, run free, get filthy. My brother was easy to love. I made her work for it. I made her prove it, and I never listened. When I struggled, which was often, she was there to pull me up by the bootstraps in her no bullshit, we're gonna figure this out kind of way. She always listened. School suspension, she might have pulled me out of school by my ponytail in front of what seemed like everyone. Speeding tickets, questionable friends and activities. That woman can find her children anywhere. Before cell phones and GPS, she gave Sherlock Holmes something to think about. An eating disorder that lasted longer than she ever knew. She even became a volunteer at the clinic that helped me. Failing out of college, my 20s, that woman should have canceled cable TV. Lifetime movies and me moving out didn't go well. Bartending, every parent's dream for their daughter, burying myself in student loans to get a master's degree, taking a teaching job with behaviorally challenged youth, getting pregnant at 30 by my much younger and ex-boyfriend. She listened, and I think she knew before I did. Having barbecue at my wedding. That fight lasted forever, and to this day, she still talks about how good the food was. 2 fixer-upper houses, we can do this. Buying a restaurant. When it flooded, she took over my household for 21 straight days. Well, we tore it down and rebuilt it. Dinner, running the kids around, laundry, all of it, no questions asked. Opening another restaurant, opening a nonprofit restaurant with high school students. Closing it. The phone calls, the venting, the crying, she listened. 3 C-sections, a near-death experience, becoming a foster mom, making her become a foster oma. I never even thought to ask her, but she always listened. My mother showed up to it all, 100% in, whether she really felt that way or not. Only my Aunt Kim knows the answer. Except for that barbecue. We all know how she felt about that one. She never questioned whether it was more important to be my friend or my mother. In fact, I have friends from high school that are still scared of her and others that call her on Mother's Day and her birthday. They were better than me at listening to my mother. When I had a bad breakup, she'd crawl into bed with me. When I'd hang up on her, she'd show up at my door. I don't remember what she said most of the time, but I remember she showed up. And not just for me, for anyone that needed a mother. They may not all call, but they all saw her and what she was willing to do. It's said that children just need one supportive adult in their lives to make a difference. Just one. I saw that difference firsthand. And people are surprised I became a foster parent. Without her there for me, I would have never had the strength to follow my gut and get through much of my life. Led me all to my today and to my husband, whom I will gush incessantly over until he pisses me off. Then I call my mother. She listens. When I got pregnant, she was ready to support my decision regardless of what it was. I became a mother for the first time, single, at a high-stress job in a brand new fixer-upper house with my much younger ex-boyfriend. She was there every day, always listening. When I became a mother for the second time, I had recently bought a very expensive restaurant with my now much younger husband. And my baby went into the special care nursery. She was there every day, and she parented my 2-year-old. When I became a mother for the third time, I had a very fragile delivery. I was in the OR much longer than normal. I had to be put under. I had an out-of-body experience that still haunts me today. I lost so much blood that my recovery, both physical and emotional, lasted over 2 years. She was there for all of it, listening. When I became a mother for the fourth time, I didn't know until 2 hours prior. I called my husband. I called the county. I called my mother. She was there when the baby arrived. She helped us settle in, and she treated her like her own from day one. When I struggled with co-parenting with strangers and all the ways the system failed my fourth daughter, she listens. All 4 were not what I expected. All 4 were nothing like what my mother knew. I couldn't listen because I couldn't ask. Raising my 4 girls is not like what I expected, and nothing like what my mother knew. I can't listen because I can't ask, but I see. I see my mother when she helps me figure out my children and how to meet their needs. Did you know that a child could be born a vegetarian and the next one can only want to eat meat? Our babies are only babies for a tiny bit of time, and then they're little humans that we're trying not to screw up. I see my mother when she tells me I'm doing my best, that they will be okay, and that they are surrounded by love and support, that it's okay to mess up, fix it, and keep going. I see my mother attending events even when she's in pain. I see her helping any of her grandbabies and children in any way that she can. Nothing can keep that woman from the cheering squad. In my world, my mother helps raise my kids. She helps strengthen my marriage, helps me through struggles with work, helps to maintain my mental health. She helps me be the best human I can be. She's a boss. My mother taught me everything I needed to know about showing up and how to get shit done. It doesn't matter who you are or what you need, she'll be there. I need to listen to my mother, my grandmother, my aunts, stories about my great-grandmothers and my great-aunts. They make me the woman I show up as today. I am a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a mother, a wife, a friend, a boss. I get shit done because my mother taught me how. It turns out I may have been listening. Recently, my mother gave me that card. I listened to her. I know what it's like to have a child that makes you prove it, makes you work for it. I know what it's like to love with a mother's intensity, and I know what it's like to not be listened to by my children. I just hope they see.